right, you're listening to Table 12 Podcast. Danny Barr, Paul Marino, Rob Klein on the board. Gentlemen.
How you doing?
Hello.
So this segment, we're going to do all sports because there's a lot, as they like to say, unpack.
Well, Dan.
But here's what Paul, settle down. Because I've been waiting to say this to you.
I can't wait for this.
Congratulations on your Knicks. The mic is yours. Have at it, brother.
Well, the Knicks are the 2026
You're
NBA
welcome.
champions. Thank you, Dan.
Jesus.
Thank you, Danny. Appreciate
Jesus.
it. 94-90, Game
He just
5.
keeps right on going.
He's so focused on his notes.
He's so focused.
It's
crazy.
oh my God! It's like dealing with Sheldon Cooper on Big Bang Theory. You're so focused on your notes.
All right, start over.
I was excited for you. I couldn't wait to congratulate you.
Oh, I didn't play in the game, Dan.
Yeah, but you're a lifelong Knick fan. All I've heard since the day I met you is Knicks, Knicks, Knicks. I've gone through every wave of Knick players for 25 years. You got one. I'm a Jet fan, man. I'm still waiting. Okay? I'm happy for you.
Thank you. I saw the 69.
Hey Rob, think I can keep him going before he?
I don't know. No,
I'm just trying to aggravate the shit out of him right now.
Explode.
His head's exploding.
Either that or he's going to forget about his.
So
notes.
bring it on, Paul. Come on.
Yeah, we're waiting.
Enjoy this.
I saw the 69-70 Knick team. I was 11. I remember that. And I saw the 73 team. Here's the one interesting thing. In 73, I couldn't watch the game either. I brought up in the last segment about how I couldn't watch the game. Back then, it was a lot different television. The game was on late at night. They didn't shift the West Coast games to a reasonable time.
Who did they play?
The LA Lakers.
The Lakers.
They won in 5 games. They beat the Lakers. And so it was late when the game ended. And I either fell asleep or I was going, because I had to go to school the next day. So they won 94-90. Okay. The Knick team, Brunson had 45 points in the game.
Amazing.
He almost had half the New York Knicks.
He broke the record.
He tied the record of Michael Jordan in the finals at 45. Okay. Michael Jordan had 45 in 1998, and the only 2 guys who had more points in a final game were Giannis at 50 and Bob Pettit at 50.
Oh, I thought this was the most.
No, he tied for there was 2 guys that had 50 points in a final game, and Brunson and Michael, and you're in with Michael Jordan. I mean, so he's tied. Technically, you could say he's tied for second because they both had. The Knicks were 9-1 on the road, 9 straight wins. They were 16-3 overall
in the postseason.
That's one of the most dominating performances I ever seen.
That's 98 Yankees.
It's tumbled. Yeah. Brunson just took over the game in the fourth quarter. He has the most points average in the fourth quarter than any player in NBA history in the fourth quarter in the playoffs. He's got the most 30-point games in the playoffs all time. 30 times he hit 30 points or more. They outscored, let's see, the differential between all their opponents and the rest of the teams that they played, 283-point differential in 19 games. Most all-time difference.
Yeah, San Antonio was close, though. Those games were close.
Well, the point was, 107 minutes of the entire series, the Spurs were ahead. The Knicks were only ahead 56% of the time, and that was at the end of the games.
They were always playing catch-up.
You're always playing catch-up. We talked a lot about the refs and all, and they were terrible the whole thing. I'm going to get into Wemby later. But the performance of this team, they played no less than 10 players a game, sometimes 11, when they had to go to their third-string center. Their bench was just phenomenal, and it was a different guy all the time. This Mike Brown was able to get the most out of his team There was never a team I seen. You'd have to go back to 69. In 69, 70, the Knicks had, their bench was called the Minutemen. They played a lot of guys too. But you still had five Hall of Famers on that team in 70. And they had five or six in 73. Okay? Jalen Brunson he showed his leadership, all through the playoffs, and especially in this game. All right? He was just, and at the end of the game, he was just,
very humble.
very humble.
Yeah.
But he just played well.
And sharing it with his father
Yeah.
got him emotional. He couldn't even talk about it.
But never, they were the first team to overcome 4 double-digit losses. Losing during the game.
Deficits.
So I don't know what else to say about the team.
All right, then. We'll wrap it up.
Every opponent.
Oh, sorry.
No, I have a lot more to say.
Okay. I thought you said
and he's trying to do it again to me and mess me all up. But every team that lost to them,
one of us should be having fun.
Including this Wemby. So, we dominated the whole series and we lost. Well, you could dominate the first quarter, but if you don't dominate the fourth quarter, it's not going to count.
He's a bit of a dirty player.
Dirty player, sore head loser.
Yeah.
Okay, wouldn't shake anybody's hand.
And the refs protected him like he was Tom Brady.
Yeah. It's the first time that a team, which the NBA Cup doesn't really do much for me, the mid-season thing, but they have the tournament.
Right.
They beat the Spurs in the NBA Cup. That's the first time it's ever happened with that team, which doesn't really, to me, it's not a stock, and it's just a fact. Beat the same team and won the NBA title. Okay? So.
Now, didn't the Spurs.
They played the Spurs.
Right. But I know that. But didn't they play prior to this season and lost to the Spurs? Is that
1999?
99.
Yeah.
They lost to the
4-1.
Spurs.
That was when Patrick Ewing was hurt.
Right.
He couldn't play. So they had an advantage.
And then the other finals, the Knicks, was against Houston. Was that 94?
94.
Yeah.
And, he wouldn't shake anybody's hand, Wemby. Crybaby. He did the most stab. He tried to injure players. He tried to he tried to kick OG in the kneecap, and he just missed. He tried to injure Brunson. I talked to my son-in-law a little bit, texting Brian, and he says, I don't like to complain about refs because the good thing is the Knicks overcame everything that they threw at him. Because then it makes you look like, you're making excuses. But these other teams are saying, after they lose, we should have beat the Knicks. We're better than them. Well, they swept 2 series.
Right.
And they won this one in 5. The hardest series was the first one in the first round against a number 18 seed. No, Atlanta. They played Atlanta first.
I didn't watch that one.
They were down 2-1. Then they won 13 straight games. And that got them all the way to the finals. All right. But I mean, when you look at the all-time stuff.
And they came back from 22 against the Sixers, right?
Yep.
And then they came back from 29 against the Spurs.
Yep. And that was the biggest comeback in NBA history in the game.
Right.
And that brings me to OG. I mean, if that Tippin didn't go, if they'd have lost the series, that Tippin wouldn't last as long because you didn't win the championship. It's like if the Giants would have lost with the Tyree catch, you wouldn't be thinking about it as much because they didn't finish the job. But now that's an all-time play.
But that tip-in, my mind went to Tyreek's catch as soon as I saw the tip-in.
So my wife says to me, Lisa's asking me a question, but I don't know the answer. She goes, what's the 2 biggest plays that Paul can remember? And I said, well, the 2 biggest plays in history to me are the OG and Tyree. Like most prominent. There's a lot of parallels. I just mentioned the Minutemen with the Knicks as far as their bench in 1970. Well, this is a great bench. And Leon Rose, I got to give credit to Leon Rose, the general manager. We all condemned, including me. I condemned this Mike Brown move. I said, how could you get Thibodeau fired, and then hire this guy. I don't even know the guy. Probably and the only way it would have played out the way it did to be successful was the way it did, where they would have won. Because we were at the Eastern Conference final level, we lost. The only next step you can do to improve is to go to the finals. So once they made the finals, he looks good because we got further. But now that he put the exclamation point on it, he won this. He won it.
I kind of compare it to Buck Showalter.
Like Thibodeau got him, Buck got him to the precipice, and then
Yep. And then Torrey took over.
Yeah.
And then the same thing happened in Arizona.
But you want to know the difference between the two coaches, Dan? If you watched it all year, you probably could guess because you watched enough of the playoffs. He played everybody. He prepared all season with the bench playing more. Thibodeau only played 7 guys.
Right.
So the whole idea was try to take some pressure during the regular season off your core group. And by playing these bench players all season and rotating them in and out, you're actually preparing them for when they get called on in a big spot in the playoffs.
But here's his advantage, and this is just from a naive outside perspective.
No, you watched enough stuff to make an observation.
He knew going into this season nothing was acceptable except the finals.
Yeah, and that's pressure.
So based on that, he could orchestrate his entire season utilizing the bench more. He had last year to look at on film. He saw what Thibodeau did wrong and what he could do better with what he had. So he had the advantage going into the season. It's not like he was coming into a team that was barely 500 and you just needed to improve on it. This guy had no other option but to make the finals.
Well, you're 100% right. But when Leon Rose made the change, some of the players didn't like that they weren't getting rests during the year because I know some of them complained. I don't know which one. I could guess, but I'm not going to guess. Leon Rose, when he interviewed the coaches, and he was not the first choice, okay? They tried to get other guys that were under contract to get permission to speak to them, and they weren't given permission. I can't tell you who they were. But Leon Rose was saying, this is what the problem is. We love our coach, but he's not getting us where we need to get because he's not preparing the bench and players. This was all the plan to change the philosophy, which they did. So I give the general manager credit, and I give the coach credit.
Now, did they change the whole coaching staff?
No, they left a lot of the coaches. They just changed the head coach.
So it was Jalen Brunson's father?
He was still there. He was there before.
He coached for Thibodeau.
And by the way, Chris Gent from Sparta is one of his number one staff members.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Now, he won 2 championships, Chris Gent did, as a bench player for the Houston Rockets.
Correct.
I believe he went to, did he go to?
Well, he was playing for Columbus in, I guess what they would consider AAA ball.
Yeah.
He was playing for Columbus, and Houston picked him up right before the playoffs. So,
but did he go to
Sparta?
Yeah, he went to Pope John, didn't he?
No, he went to Sparta.
Sparta High School. So at his press conference, right after the game, Mike Brown says, any of you owners or general managers don't give Chris Gent an interview, you're making a big mistake.
Oh, awesome.
He should have a head coaching job in this league. And I thought that was pretty nice.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because he still would come home and play in the summer leagues, and he was an amazing basketball player.
Yeah.
I remember him playing in high school. But I want to say it was LeBron, but and I'm pretty sure it was. But LeBron struggled with some things, and he wanted Chris Gent. So Chris went to the Cavaliers and was a coach for the Cavaliers just for LeBron.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And from what I've heard, he's still very close with him. But yeah, LeBron specifically asked for him to help him fine tune some things because he was coming right out of high school. But yeah, Chris has had a very good career.
So I'm thinking about similarities between the two championship teams and this group, which really started last year. I think you can make and I can do it because I've seen it. You know, the younger fan doesn't understand. OG Anunoby trade. The Knicks traded two players, Quickly, and I think it was Barton, I think his name was, for OG Anunoby. And the Knicks traded, back in the day, Howard Komives and Walt Bellamy for Dave DeBusschere. And they were the same type of player. Hard-nosed player, great rebounder, great shooter. And it just reminded me of that.
OG is a dynamic player. I mean, I watched him inbound the ball and then make the layup. Like he made some really incredible plays.
Yeah.
And I think if Brunson didn't score 45 in the final game and they still won,
He would have got it.
he would have gotten MVP.
Yeah. So what does that do for your all-time? People are talking about the old-time team. Brunson's in the top 5. Brunson's in the top 5
Of basketball?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm still putting Frazier as the most all-time player. I'm still putting Willis Reed as number 2. He's got 2 MVPs. And you could argue the Hall of Famers, Monroe, DeBusschere. I don't care, Bill Bradley. You could put anybody you want in there. I'm going to put Brunson as number 5. I'm not putting Patrick Ewing in the top 5. Now, people are going to argue about that. Patrick Ewing's the top Knick of all time? He didn't win a championship. Doesn't put you. You got to have the championship in order to get to the top 5.
See, Clyde would disagree with you on something.
What's that?
Clyde would put Willis Reed at number 1.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something about Frazier. He had 36 points in the game 7 when Willis Reed was hurt. Willis Reed was hurt for 3 games. Walt Frazier's the reason why they won that championship. But you're right. He always defers. Willis was the captain.
Yeah.
He was the best. Willis Reed got an MVP in both championship rounds.
He has great respect for Willis Reed.
He does. I'm just giving you my list.
But that's
Frazier.
Clyde. Clyde is, other than his fashion sense,
Now, Red
he's a
Holzman.
pretty humble guy.
Red Holzman was the coach of the first 2 championships. Okay. He's number 1 coach of all time. 613 wins he had. Do you know? So the 613 hangs in the Garden as says Holzman 613.
Oh, is that what that's for?
June 13th is when they won the championship. That's a coincidence with that. 613.
So
just to bring that up. But now, of all the coaches, obviously Red Holzman's number 1. Who's number 2?
Jeff Van Gundy.
No. I'm putting the guy that's
That's the only other coach I knew the name of.
Okay. Well, Mike Brown goes to number 2 all time. I don't care if he only was here 1 year. He goes to number 2. You could have your Pat
Just
Riley.
because of the ring.
Pat Riley didn't get us. Pat Riley lost to Game 7.
You know, I equate Pat Riley with Miami.
Well, because he walked out of us. He faxed the letter in.
I forgot he was.
Okay, because Pat Riley had a chance to win Game 7, but he kept John Starks in there, who was 1 for 13 instead of making the change. See, Mike Brown, when you were making mistakes, when guys were making mistakes or missing shots, he put somebody else in. He wasn't
took
afraid.
Brunson out.
Yeah. So anyway, you could put O'Reilly, you could put Riley, and you could put Van Gundy in the top 5.
I was just popping out at
But I'm just telling you.
The hell do I know?
1 and 2.
Okay.
And I want to see some respect.
Where's
around
Red
the league.
Auerbach in there?
Well, he's not a Knicks coach.
Oh, okay.
All
So
right.
you're just focused on the Knicks.
Yeah, just
okay.
the Knicks. So
somebody posted a meme of, and I disagreed with this meme, the best New York sports legends. Okay? And obviously Babe Ruth is number 1.
right.
They put, and I know this is emotion of the moment. I get it. But they actually put Jalen Brunson above LT.
You can't
No.
do it.
No.
You know,
They put him above Mickey Mantle.
no.
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 You know, listen, it was great. Great championship. So much fun to watch.
So I'm going to bring up another thing that I want because this is something that I thought about also. Baseball, there's Yankee fans, Met fans.
Yep.
So they're always a split between the two. The Yankees probably have more than the Mets, but there's always arguing. Boom, boom. Our team, they hate the Yankees. If you're a Met fan, the Yankees hate the Met fan. I never did that stuff, to be honest with you, because I rooted for both teams going back. There was a few things that ticked me off lately there. I'm not as high on the Mets. Then you got your Rangers, Islanders. I don't put the Devils in there because they're in New Jersey. Then you got your Giants and Jets. You got the Jet fans and you got the Giant fans. The Knick fans are all those teams' fans put together.
What about the Nets?
Well, the Nets are maybe 5% in New York. There's not a lot of Net fans. They moved from Jersey to Brooklyn, so you got to have some Brooklyn. But most of the fans of all those other teams are Knick fans. So that's the one thing that the Knick fans have in common is that some of them are Jet fans, some of them are Giant fans, Yankees, or you can make any combination of all four of those teams, or 6 teams if you want to count.
Met fans are a generational thing. Met fans are the product of Dodger and Giant fans, baseball giants.
Yes,
that's the Mets.
Yes,
they even took the colors from the two teams.
Yes,
so those are the Mets,
right.
And then it becomes generational, where Yankee fans have been around for 100 years.
Right.
And a lot of that is generational too. Jet fans and Giants fans are different because the Giants were Manhattan, the Jets were Long Island. So you go out to Long Island, it's all Jet fans. There's no Giant fans in Long Island, right? You go to Manhattan, it's all Giants fans.
Yeah.
And then Brooklyn and Queens kind of splits, and Jersey splits.
But my point is that there's no split,
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think it was an all-time run, just to wrap up the Knick talk. I don't know what this future is going to hold, but we won't worry about the future because we won this year. And I think that
just enjoy this
it's
one.
a very unselfish team. And, I heard a lot of commentary from the professionals, guys on ESPN and whatever station I was listening to. They had a real group of one kind of a group as opposed to, they had 2 superstars on the team.
No, they were a real team.
They were a real team. I mean, they played like a team, never out of the game. Never, they never thought that they were going to lose. It was a mental toughness thing. And I think the factor that I think is the biggest factor, first of all, OG Anunoby won a championship. He was hurt with the Toronto Raptors. But he got a ring. He was there most of the year. He got hurt in the playoffs, so he didn't play in the final game. Toughness. He's used to winning. And I think the fact that the Villanova 3 had 2 championships with Villanova, and the 3 of them as a conglomerate, I think they knew how to win.
Did you see that press conference with the 3 of them?
Yeah.
And the guy said, the one player said, well, we all have championships. And the other 2 said, well, you only have 1.
Yeah, Hart only has 1.
Right.
The other 2 were together longer.
Those guys are funny together.
They're funny.
Man.
They're funny. So congratulations to all of them.
Well, one last thing real quick I heard today on the radio. The prediction is that the number 1 inner city name of newborns from here on out is Jalen.
Think so?
Yeah.
Is that what you heard?
That there's going to be a whole lot of Jalens coming into the world.
Wow. But anyway,
But he's a great guy. He is a role model.
He's with the same woman since she was 16 years old. And he says, hey, I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of temptations, to stick with the same girl. She's been with me since high school. And he's just a great,
he's
a great
humble.
person.
He's respectful.
Never puts down anybody, in the other team. Not like that other guy did,
And you saw Mariska Hargitay on
yeah.
Right? And her and Brunson are very close.
Yeah.
And after one of the games, and I think it was against Cleveland, she was at the game and they were hugging. and all you saw her say was, "You don't have to," and he just said, "I'll be there." So later on, they asked her what that was. She was opening on Broadway, and he promised to be there opening night. And during the playoffs, he was there in the theater to support her because she always supports him.
Yeah.
I was just impressed with that.
No, I mean, look. He's the guy. I mean, he's the guy that we got.
And he gets a hug from
He's a
Mariska
game
Hargitay,
changer. He's a game
which
game
doesn't
changer.
suck.
No. So anyway, we're going to just shift gears quick, and there's something else I want to bring up as far as some similarities. But the Carolina Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup. They won 3-0 last night.
Oh, they did win last night.
They did. They beat the Golden Knights, and they won in 6. They also had a 16-3 record, and like the Knicks, they had 2 postseason sweeps. And congratulations to the Hurricanes. So tough team, and they played well. I mean, the Golden Knights were really good. They swept. They had a sweep the previous series too, and they won it. They had a game 7 coming, but they beat them on their home ice. They went to Vegas. So congratulations to them. Real quick, because I know we're up against.
We're not up against any clock.
Well, there's a commercial.
Why
coming
do
to
you
something.
keep thinking we're up against the clock? We'll talk as long as we want.
No, well, I'm trying to train myself for, like, you know.
What do you think the sponsors are going to get pissed off?
I don't want anybody to get upset.
You're training yourself for what? The WFAN.
I got a couple of calls already. I people are listening all over the world. I can't.
You got calls while we've been on the show.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
I don't have to explain to him anything about my any kind of contacts.
Listen, you want to stop talking? Stop talking. I'll just keep going.
So,
when you said shifting gears, I thought you were going to go to Rob on the Pocono
okay, yeah,
500.
Let's do that.
I thought you were throwing in a pun.
Let's do that. All right, NASCAR.
NASCAR.
We're shifting gears to NASCAR.
Yeah, and they shift gears a lot. Get it? That was good.
All right, you're going to give us a report.
Are you going to keep the momentum going, Rob?
I'm trying.
Jeez.
Oh my God. So, yeah, Pocono was this weekend. Great turnout. Every grandstand seat was taken. So it was completely sold out. So that's pretty cool. The other thing that's pretty cool is the guy who won it is Denny Hamlin. He's 45 years old. He's won at Pocono 8 times prior. The most of all time of any driver winning at Pocono. He started first and he finished first.
Wow.
But he only led 28 laps of the whole thing. And he did not have the fastest lap. So he also is co-owner with Michael Jordan in 23XI Racing. The guy who finished second is Tyler Reddick. Again, he's up there. That's the guy who swept the first 4 races in the season. So,
but Hamlin races for Joe Gibbs, doesn't he?
Hamlin races for Joe Gibbs. But what's interesting is the fact that, you know, he is that co-owner and that their car finished second. That's a pretty good day for him, I would think.
Surprised that's not a conflict of interest.
I don't know about that.
You race for one team and you're part owner of another?
Yeah, but once you're out on the track, I mean...
Oh, listen, if you're not first, you're last. That's what I say.
That's right. So, my daughter married a Larson, not like a Kyle Larson, but his name is Andrew Larson. But just a shout out to Kyle Larson, who finished 5th. And then, Reddick, William Byron, John Nemechek, and Kyle Larson are your top 5.
Now, it's Kyle Nemechek?
It's Kyle Larson.
Okay, who's the Nemechek?
John
Nemechek. Is he related to Joe?
What do you mean he's the Joe?
Joe Nemechek.
I don't know.
Oh, he's a NASCAR.
I watch it. I don't know everything. I'm not like
Okay.
Paul. I can't pull stats out of my butt.
I'm sorry, Rob. I had no business asking you a question.
Well,
they used to call him Front Row Joe.
Really?
Yes, Joe Nemechek.
Look at you with the NASCAR
this is Joe
trivia.
Nemechek from Stockholm.
I pay attention to everything. Sweden?
No, Stockholm, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
So, Rob, is that so? That's the winner, right? That was it. Did you
Denny
see him?
That's
go
it.
over-
Denny
Did
Hamlin.
you
Denny
see him
Hamlin.
going over the finish line, or was the brisket turning over at that point?
No, that was Sunday. Brisket was Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So,
So-
the Yankees were on a road trip.
Wow, we just rolled
Wow.
right through
Okay.
that.
Guess you're done, Rob.
I guess I'm done.
All right.
Yankees were on a road trip. They were 5-1. They beat Cleveland 3 games, and then they had a weekend series with Toronto, which Toronto pretty much owned them last year. And yesterday was a rubber game. They won 8-3. Ninth inning, we had a 2-run homer by Rice and a 3-run homer by Caballero, and we won that game. So we were 5-1 on the road trip, and we're coming home to play the White Sox. The Mets beat the first place Braves. How do you figure that?
Any given Sunday.
Yeah. They lost to the Cards 2 out of 3, but they won against the Braves 2 out of 3. So they had a 500 homestand, and now they go on the road to play the Reds. By the way, they're 32-39, and the Yankees have the best American League record by 43-27. So
They have a 1-game lead.
1.5, I believe. But yeah,
This morning it was 1.
the last time you told I had it wrong. So
Yeah, I know you did.
I'm yielding with you.
But I didn't correct you.
I'm saying you had.
I let you roll with it.
Yeah, but I was corrected by a couple of people later on.
I
so you had to
didn't
Danny was
do it.
right, I was told.
I didn't do that. Just so you know.
Well, I don't know why I have to apologize for something. I
No,
made a
you're
mistake.
the one that brought it up.
I made a mistake.
All I'm saying is I didn't call you out on it. I knew you were wrong. But I'm not going to humiliate you
You know, Rob,
in front of
for a guy
everybody.
who doesn't do any research on any of this stuff, I don't know. I don't know how you.
Who says I don't do research?
I don't know.
I got 2 pages of notes in front of me.
What are you going to do now that football season's coming and you don't pay attention to the practice season? What are we going to do?
I'm going to listen to you chime on about people that aren't going to be on the team when the season starts. I do have a football question for you.
Yes, sir.
So this is big. Chicago Bears.
Moving to Indiana, right?
They moved to Indiana. Fans are losing their minds.
Yes. A lot of alumni players are chastising the.
Do you know how far?
Not far.
No.
It's not. It's what's a half hour?
No different
Then
than the Jets and Giants moving to Jersey.
yeah, it's the same thing. It's not. It doesn't make any sense. You're going to go to a better stadium and you're going to like it better. And I don't know what kind of a stadium they're putting up there. I don't know if I know the Bears, they're probably not putting up a dome because they want to have that outside.
They want the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fans, you can't go a half hour. Well, we did it. I mean, the only difference between for me, and maybe for you too. Like you'd had to go to Shea, I would have had to go to Yankee Stadium, and now it's closer because it's in Jersey because we live in
Right.
Jersey. But the New York,
But the parking's going to be better.
yeah.
You know, Soldier Field, I went to Soldier Field. It's a pain in the ass.
I was a kid. And I don't remember if there was a
And it's right on the lake.
yeah. Well, it'll be cold on the lake, but I don't remember any backlash when the Giants moved the Giant Stadium because they were getting a new stadium.
How about backlash when the Giants moved to New Haven while they were building the stadium?
My father had the tickets and he never went to New Haven. We did go to Shea when
Right.
because they went to New Haven for a couple of years, and the last year they went to Shea,
Yeah.
which I went to a game in Shea, and then in '76 they opened up Giant Stadium.
Oakland's moved from Oakland to LA, back to Oakland to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
This is what teams do.
Yeah.
Hell, Modell moved his team in the middle of the
Look,
night.
but that's different. Now, if you're talking about moving the Chicago
Right.
Bears to
I understand,
Arizona,
but they're getting a better stadium.
that's then I could see the outrage. You moved like Cleveland; they lost their entire team for a couple of years, few years till they had an expansion. They became the Baltimore Ravens, as you remember.
And Brandon Johnson will have to buy a ticket now because he's not the mayor in the city of the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I don't see with the outrage because I think most people are going to have to travel.
I think they're being babies.
Yeah, well, like you said, once they get into a stadium and they see hopefully they do a better job than the MetLife Stadium is, because we went downhill from the
man.
Giant Stadium to MetLife Stadium is night and day. I can't stand it.
MetLife is the worst.
The Giant Stadium is one of the best stadiums I was ever in.
I love Giant Stadium.
So.
And I didn't even mind calling it that as a Jet fan. I didn't mind calling it.
It would be different They built the new one together, so you can't call it Giant Stadium anymore. But at that time, they had been in there, I think, 10 years.
Right.
You know. So, any other questions for me? Was there anything else?
Well,
for me? I know you have other things.
Let me just see if I'm done with the interview. Jesus. So, UFC,
Yes.
and we'll close out with UFC. What a night. One of the best UFCs I've ever watched.
And that was, I believe, on Paramount, or was
It's on Paramount.
Because I could watch that. Yeah, I didn't get to see all the fights yet.
The fights were unbelievable. Now I'm gonna tell you the second fight. I missed the first fight. The second fight was Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel was a wrestler for Penn State, 3-time NCAA champion, dominant.
So then he went
collegiate
into the
wrestler.
UFC stuff?
And then he went into MMA.
Okay.
And he has a 9-1 record in MMA, 5-1 now in the UFC. He knocked out in the first round a guy with a left foot kick to the side of the head, Billy Jack style. He would have made Billy Jack proud.
He knocked him out with the kick?
Well, the kick knocks him down, and then it kind of jars him, which sets him up for a left and a right, and then he put him on the floor. But I'm so excited for this kid because he was one of my all-time favorite collegiate wrestlers to watch, and when he won, before Bruce Buffer could come, you good? Before Bruce Buffer could announce him as the winner, he was over the cage and right to Donald Trump, shaking Trump's hand, shaking Dana's hand. Trump, who's a huge college wrestling fan, he knows who Bo Nickel is. He brought him in. They were talking. I mean, like, no sense of urgency to get back in that octagon, to get his hand raised. He knew what he wanted to do. And then after they announced him as the winner, he left the octagon. He's walking down, he's high-fiving people, and Congressman Jim Jordan was right there, collegiate champion himself, NCAA Division I college wrestling champion. And if you look, it's subtle, but if you watch Jim Jordan question people in the congressional hearings, his right ear is cauliflower, which is the telltale sign that he's a wrestler. But so I was thrilled. That was my first match of the night to watch. It was great. And then Rufy fought Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler was a psycho. Great fighter. Great fighter. But he's 40 years old. He's still a nut, but he really didn't have any business being in there and just got his ass handed to him. But then comes the first heavyweight match of the night. So Josh Hokett was fighting a previous UFC, and Trump calls Dana and said, "Why isn't Derek Lewis, who's a heavyweight, big monster of a guy, 17 straight knockouts? He's got the record. Why isn't Derek Lewis on the 250 card, White House card?"
Okay.
Dana's like, "I don't know, Mr. President, but I'll find out." Calls his planner and says, "I need someone for Derek Lewis." Josh Hokett wins his match in that match, but is going to the hospital to be checked. He's being loaded in the ambulance, and they ask him if he'd fight Derek Lewis at the White House, and Hokett says, "Absolutely," because Hokett's a maniac, right? He's a very unlikable guy. He's a trash talker, says horrible things, what have you. So he gets in the ring with Derek Lewis. Monster. I'm telling you, this guy's a monster. Shaquille O'Neal size guy, right? Hokett knocks him out. Just beats him. And at the end, and this is the controversy of the night, Hokett, who's a loose cannon, Joe Rogan is there in the ring to do the post-fight interview. Now, keep in mind, I don't like this guy, and I don't like his shenanigans.
You don't like the fighter.
The hook it.
Yeah.
I don't like his shenanigans. I like people who act like they've been there.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a real trash talker. So he starts to talk to Joe Rogan, and then he says, you know what? F this speech. Only effing Trump would have the balls to put this kind of event on. And I thank him for it. And then he says, oh, and one more thing. And Rogan's holding the microphone. He goes, Michelle Obama's a man.
You kidding?
I'm not kidding you. Now, do you remember years ago, Mean Gene Okerlund
Yeah.
and the look he'd get from these wrestlers while they're screaming? That's the look
The
Rogan had. he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. Now, this was live. Now, I don't know if the replays are going to.
Yeah, but you
Like-
watched it on. You think that?
No, I watched it live.
Yeah, but you think that if I watched it tomorrow,
I don't know.
they
Because
might.
I don't know.
I
I'd
don't
be
think they could
curious
do
to
that,
know
can
that.
they? It's streaming.
Dana doesn't like this guy either. He doesn't like his shenanigans, I'll say. But he's a great heavyweight, and he could become heavyweight champion at some point. But then they had Justin. I believe his name is pronounced Gay J or something like that. He fought Ilia Tuperio from Brazil, who was expected to win. This guy Justin was on his way down. He was champion at one time, but he's on his way down in his career. He's 36 years old. He beat this Brazilian bloody, beat him to a pulp. And the doctor was telling them after the third, he should have had him out in the third round. Doctor was telling him after the third round, no, this can't continue. And somehow they convinced the doctor to let it continue another round. Now, Justin was getting gassed big time, and I think they saw that, so they thought Ila had a chance, but he was blind. Both his eyes were closed. He couldn't see. Justin closed his one eye in the first round, closed his other eye in the third round. Fought the fourth round and then didn't answer. That's when they finally said, no, you can't take this anymore. And then the fight of the night was Cyril Gann won the title. There were two title fights, both upsets last night. It was just fantastic. I won't drag it on to you because you haven't watched it.
No,
I thought you had watched it.
Oh, I want to watch it. I'm going to watch it because last night I couldn't watch
Well,
it.
spoiler alert, I just told you all the
It doesn't matter
results.
because I don't know them anyway. I just want to see what happened. But did the whole thing last? Like, cause the last time I watched those UFC or MMA, everything was kind of quick. Boom, boom, boom.
They started every fight on the hour.
Oh,
And they did have a rain delay. So Bo Nichols started at 9 o'clock. His match was at 9. And then they just went 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, till the end.
Okay.
But this is the first time, this is what I read today. I didn't realize it when I saw it, that a UFC event ended in all knockouts. Every fight was a knockout. Judges did not come into play at all.
Wow.
And I've never seen that happen. So it was a great event. I saw an interview with Dana today that Ellison, who owns Paramount, he said, I never heard a billionaire so excited because supposedly this is the biggest Paramount event ever.
Now, I saw that Dana White's conglomerate, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
financed that whole thing, $60 million?
Yeah. So they asked him if he was ever going to do this again. If Trump says yes, would you do it again at the White House? He said no.
Well, you think he lost money?
He said, I can't afford to do this again. So he said the two venues he'd never do again, the Sphere and the White House. He says, I
But he
can't afford it. But he goes, but I don't say no to anything. If somebody plans an event, I don't think he lost money.
Maybe he didn't make what he usually makes at a venue.
Right. I think it's just
maybe
very
he broke
expensive.
even or
Right.
didn't make much. But then not to do it again, like you said, the Sphere or whatever.
Well, I mean, this is the biggest UFC event in the history of the UFC. So whether you may not have made that much money on this event, but because of this, you know how many You know how many new viewers they got that never watched a UFC event watched last night? I mean, like I said, they had 100,000 to 200,000 people in the park outside the event,
Yeah.
the elliptical park. That was wall to wall. I mean, it looked like Queen at Rio de Janeiro. I mean, like, it was massive, massive.
Yeah.
And like I said, they marched all the fighters out of the White House and down the stairs, out the same door Trump.
Yeah, I saw
came
that.
out.
Like I watched highlights this morning, but
Yeah, and they had a Medal of Honor winner escorting every single fighter,
Mhm.
which I thought was really cool. And they were excited about it. You could tell they were pumped. You know.
Yeah.
So it was really well done. I'll admit, I did not like seeing the pictures of them setting it up. I wasn't happy about it. But then you do some reading and you find out a lot of events have been taking place on that lawn. You know, so every president does it.
Mhm.
It's their right to do it. So, but they did it really well. I was glued to the television because even in between, like when you watch it, they'll cut out all the in between stuff.
right.
You know, so you got to.
Yeah.
So the fight starts at 9, knockout at 9:20.
You got to wait till 10.
You got 40 minutes to kill. Even that stuff was great.
They had a lot of fill-in stuff.
Yes. Backstories, and they're talking about the Medal of Honor winners. They're talking about the first responders. They're talking about the fighters and how they got there. And, you know, nothing political. There was nothing
as it
political.
should be. Yeah.
Yeah. And just they had the commander-in-chief orchestra. So all the walkout music was live, played by the military band, you know, and they were playing songs that the fighters wanted, but that's what they were doing. They were singing. It was really spectacular.
Great. I'm going to try to look back at it.
So, yeah.
Hey, listen, Rob, do we get a good rating for today?
Yeah, you got a little better than last time.
Got to be at least an 8.
I don't know about that. 7.5.
Progress.
Oh, come on. All right. Dan, don't forget your $1. I don't want to see I owe you money. There's $1 here that I owe him from last week. I know I pay my debts. But anyway. All right, guys. Thanks.
I can't believe I had to front it to you.
Yeah, I was a little down on my luck last week, so I owed you $1.
Like Humphrey Bogart and Bugs Bunny.
Well, that's actually from the
Treasure of Sierra
Madre.
Madre. Right.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye.